Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 42 of SmiteTalk. My name is Octane Pro, and joining me as always, I do have my co-host FG3000. How's it going, buddy?
I'm the host because this is my time slot. So
all right.
Really the co-host.
Can you go ahead and do the intro for me, please, if you don't mind?
Carry on.
Oh, thank you, thank you. So chat room, let us know if there's any audio issues, something like that. We're trying something different this week with the audio setup, so let me know if you can't hear me or can't hear FG. We need to go ahead and fix the levels. But anyways, guys, this is SmiteTalk. Appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me and FG3000. We're going to go ahead and talk about Smite, and more Smite tonight. This is, as FG knows, this is a show that you guys can go ahead and call in and talk to us about Smite. It's an open-ended kind of conversation show. You can feel free to call in and talk about anything: the new patch, new gods, changes you'd like to see done, adjustments you'd like to see, god skins you'd love to see, or just problems that you're having that you want to talk about with Smite. So jumping into it a little bit, FG, what have you been up to recently?
I just got done playing a Freya game where the Poseidon AFK'd, and it was great. I had a great time. It was fantastic.
So, I have to comment. You know, you didn't say anything, but I had to wear a V-neck for the last show, bro. I had to wear a V-neck for the last.
Yeah. So normally I go a little deeper than this, but you know, this is a family-oriented show, so I don't
So if you go any deeper, do you have to shop in the ladies section then?
Shots fired already?
Shots fired! Shots fired! Yeah, man. I was like, all right, what am I going to wear tonight? Throw a t-shirt on or whatever. It's like, oh, I got a V-neck right here, a new V-neck. I'm like, I'm going to wear that for FG because I know how much he enjoys it. So
they're the best things ever. I'm just telling you.
That's right. I don't know about the solid colored V-neck, but you know, maybe we'll get there. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah,
you know?
that's fine. That's fine. It depends on what jeans you're wearing. It's a total outfit.
Ah, total. Wow. I'm on stream. It's from like the chest up.
Yeah, exactly. If you play video games or stream in pants, I don't want to be your friend.
Yeah, right.
Like you should either be naked, underwear, or shorts.
Oh,
nobody
okay.
Nobody should play video games in their computer chair in jeans.
Yeah, I hear you. Trust me. So, guys, we're gonna go ahead and talk about a little bit of everything this week. We are kind of changing out with SmiteTalk, as you guys know. Smite Update show we did end up closing out some time ago. F.Dot ended up getting hired with Hi-Res Studios, which is awesome. And myself, the weekend time slot wasn't working very well. And then for Smitten, she was just Smitten. She could play and do anything, anytime. And so we need to go ahead and close things out. You know, things just weren't working with that time slot on Sundays anymore. With SmiteTalk now, FG3000 is now streaming 7 till 10 p.m. during the week. And so we're not really able to do SmiteTalk every week. All the time, directly after his time slot during SNK's time slot on Tuesdays. So we are going to change things up a little bit with SmiteTalk show. We're going to go ahead and kind of pull things to a close to a degree, but make it very casually. So our plan is to still do SmiteTalk, but every once in a while, when it warrants, a big patch comes out or big announcement comes out and stuff like that. And we'll take like the last 45 minutes or hour of FG3000's time slot on whenever that is, Monday through whenever, actually. And we'll just decide, today's a perfect day. At the very end of FG's slot, let's go ahead and do a show. So, something to keep in mind there.
Boom.
So that's kind of our plan right now. So those of you guys that are audio listeners, will be continuing to upload the audio version of the show, just like we always have. So you're not really going to miss out on anything there for you guys. So let's go ahead and talk about a few things before we go ahead and take some viewer calls. So let's talk about the latest patch notes that just came out this past week. And I know you were playing a little bit of the PTS. What are your thoughts on some of the changes? I have not touched it yet.
What? What have you been doing with your life, Octane? What have you been doing with your life?
Life?
That's good. The PTS is pretty small, right? Really, it's just Medusa and skins. And there's a couple of quality of life changes that I found out that a lot of people don't know what quality of life actually means.
Okay.
But little quality of life issues with Thor. Now you know exactly how much time it takes for you to come down from your ultimate. you can actually point your Artemis boar in the right direction.
Whoa!
Which is fantastic.
Whoa!
One of the best changes ever. Hopefully they do that same change to New WoW, where you can actually point her clay minions in a general direction to make them attack things, as opposed to attacking the fire giant while you're in the middle of a team fight, which is super annoying. But yeah, I mean, a pretty small patch, with Medusa and some skins.
Yeah.
And
Now,
that's pretty much it.
What did you think of Medusa? Just kind of overall thoughts of her, the way she is right now.
Well, I played against Smitten, and Smitten is not nice. Smitten is an ADC by design and by nature, and I am not, so it was very unfair when I played her. But she's cool, man. Like, she's really, I think they nailed the slithery aspect of her.
Okay.
Not even talking about her kit, like the actual feel of Medusa. They nailed it with her 3. Her ultimate feels right. Her attacks, her sound effects, everything feels pretty right with her. So, yeah, she's not bad. She's still going under some changes, though, but I think she will fit in fine after this round of changes that she just got.
Okay.
If you're not familiar, she lost her attack speed debuff. She had a built-in Witchblade, and they took that away. So they took that away. So she might be a little bit better, or not better, but a lot, more in line now.
More in line with some of the other hunters that are out there right now.
Exactly, but it's kind of hard. Like on the PTS, you can play a 5 versus 5 arena, but you really can't tell. Like, you can't get a feel for how strong she is when you're just going against another 5 Medusas. Like, it's kind of hard to see how she fits with going against Neith, or going against Shivalanke, or going against, it's really hard to kind of see. But I think she'll be fine. I don't think she's going to be super overpowered. Okay,
sweet. And I did see some kind of UI changes. What were your thoughts on those, and what can people expect?
The main UI change is on the God screen. The God screen no longer has like the small icon, the face icons, little profile icons. It now has the actual God cards. So screen real estate has gone down. Like, typically you can look at about maybe 40 gods on just one section of the screen. Now it's about 6. You gotta scroll down, you gotta scroll down, because they use the actual God cards now. So if you want to go look at
that's
Chang'e,
true.
it's a big God card, or you type in Chang'e, which I mean you can do, but I kind of like the old way because you can just at a glance see all these gods and say, I want to look at my stats with Vamana.
Yep.
Bam. You scroll a little bit and he's there. So that's that. But the real main thing is this whole clan system.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
Built into the UI. I saw you were kind of happy about that. And I think you're going to have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Because your clan is like 107 people, so you have to get to a certain rank before you can add anybody else.
Correct. So for those of you guys not familiar, they're adding in a clan. They're not adding in a clan system. They're finally giving the clan system kind of the attention it needs. It's been around for a long time now, and at one point I think they called them teams, and then they moved away from that because that like kind of signified like competitive players and stuff like that. And now they've moved it more towards, they called it clans. And so without having those, I'm trying to find those notes. I do not have them in front of me. That's okay. I'm trying to see if I can find them here. Let me see if I can get it real quick. I'm trying to find the latest notes that they do have out there for that. I was trying to find it on Reddit, but Reddit just like everything just gets sucked up.
It's on page 2.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. If anyone finds it, let me know. I don't know if you found it, but anyways,
I do have it.
Oh, you do have it. Perfect. Send it to me in the raid call chat. Raid call chat. Here. I just messaged you. But anyways, with the clan system, so what they're doing is like they're going ahead and actually adding some value to the clan system and actually some purpose to the clan. In the past, it's really just been like, hey, invite some people to it, and you have a clan tag, and great, cool. But now they're adding some more to it. So what they're doing is they're adding a cool feature right off the back where for joining clans you can have like open joining. Like that'll be like the way that my clan works. Like I'm just gonna have it opened up and anybody can join. That's just the way it is now. Like when I'm streaming and people ask to join the clan, I just throw them in there, so I like that feature. They're also adding in a feature that is like allow applications so people can apply, and then finally they have another level which is like invite only. So pretty cool idea. But that's not the big one. You can also add in like you can search for clans, which is a really nice feature as well. And then on top of that, you kind of have the limits. And this is what FG was talking about, where the exact thing says, clans now start limited at 30 members. and gain the ability to add more members as they level. And this is as the clan levels. And then the other part of that is clans currently in the system. So that's what FG was talking about with my current clan. We're up around 107, give or take, are grandfathered in and can stay over the member maximum. So I'll be okay. I don't have to like kick anyone or anything like that. But we can't add any new members until there's space available. So I'm wondering, if I kick a member, can I add a new member? Or do I need, if I kick a member, I can't add any more people until the clan actually gets to that appropriate level?
Exactly, yep.
So it's pretty sweet, and you know, they added some features in here, like the clan leader leaves, then it automatically goes to like the next highest clan member. But so there's this whole honor system, like it's all honor that's earned, and it says all honor earned is awarded both to the player and to the clan. You can only gain honor while in a clan. If a player leaves a clan, both the player and the clan retain the honor they gained. There are 4 ways to earn honor. Winning is one way in order to do it. Through, you know, a PvP game there. And then party bonuses, playing with party members in your clan. And then also like first time level bonuses and first time god masteries. So I'm pretty excited about this. What are your thoughts on the changes they're making to clans at this point?
I'm going to counter your question with a question of a question.
Oh man, you're one of those people. You're one of those people.
So this all sounds great, right? You know, it's kind of giving people rewards for playing together, finding clans, finding like-minded people, jumping on curse, playing. All that stuff is going to kind of attract those type of people. What about the guys that like solo queue? Do you think this is a bad thing for them? Because now you're going to be going against people in queue more often that are in parties.
Yeah, but the matchmaking
like
system,
the
matchmaking system should be able to support that though, because right now the matchmaking system supports party queue.
Not in Siege, it doesn't.
Really? Are you serious?
I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say. What are you talking about?
Pre-mades more often.
Yeah.
I feel like there's way more 4-man pre-mades in Siege that I have to go against as a solo queue more often. But you know, it could just be a member like a not enough people online thing. Very possible.
Yeah. I don't think the matchmaking. I think the matchmaking will treat this just like it always has, in regards to, you know, people that are queuing solo versus people that are queuing in parties, and they try to balance it out and, you know, kind of give you not a whole team of solo players. I don't think this is going to like change a lot, and there isn't any like huge bonus right now. It's just that, hey, your clan levels. There's no, from what I'm reading, there isn't any. Let's see here.
Like it's a brand new currency.
Like yeah,
you can't spend on anything.
Like here it says in the future there will be special unlocks assigned to these levels. So like right now there's no real awards to it except for adding more clan members. But it looks like there will be rewards to come down the road. And as long as those rewards are rewards that don't give somebody a buff or a benefit in game, I'm okay with it. I assume it's going to be cosmetic, maybe skin related or, I don't know, icon related, stuff like that.
Yep, frames, all that good stuff.
Yeah, like I think that's the direction they'll go, which is fine. That completely makes sense. It even says there's going to be clan quest. Each week, clans will be given a quest their members can accomplish to earn bonus honor for themselves in the clan. So that's
a page right out of Heroes of the Storm. I'm not mad though. I'm not mad. It's great. Heroes of the Storm is great. Do you know what I'm talking about, Octave?
Yeah. I do not know out of Heroes of the Storm, no. Is this Heroes of the Storm have something similar?
Yeah, you'll get a quest when you log in, and it'll say win 3 games as an assassin.
Yeah.
And then you have to go out and win 3 games as an assassin. So maybe as a clan quest, you know, your clan has to win 10 siege matches. I really hope they don't do, like, you go win 10 games as an ADC. I hope they don't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because Heroes of the Storm can kind of support it, because you pick your character, and then you get put into the queue. Whereas, you know, you're in the queue here in Smite, then you pick your character. So it's not as fluid. So if they do things like that, like play 10 siege matches, play 10 conquests, or 5 assaults per clan, I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunity they can do with this, and I'm excited for it. You know, clans definitely. Man, I remember when they added clans forever ago, and then it was, as I said, it was called teams. I don't even remember when that was.
You're old school.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool in the notes, by the way, if like they talk about the clan system and then they add in there like last clan adjustments were, and they give you the date, so you kind of know, like, because it'd be kind of nice to be able to be like, wow, the last adjustments were in 2012 or 2013. You know what I mean? To be able to see that type of information. But that might be a little more detailed for them. That's probably going to be a lot of work. Like, when do we add that?
Yeah.
So, so that's pretty cool. Pretty excited about this. If you guys have any comments or anything like that, or questions about the new patch, please call in. Let us know kind of what your thoughts are. We do have 2 callers hanging out right now. You know, we can get some more people in here. We might, if you guys are interested, we could do a giveaway tonight. Mr. Streamer.
I'm not interested in giveaways.
Oh, you're not interested.
Not
interested. Okay.
No, thank you.
Okay.
I want nothing that's free.
Oh, okay. How about a Xbox One alpha code? How's that sound? Does that sound good?
Oh, look at you, son.
Yeah, I like it.
So popular.
I know. But anyways, so we're gonna go ahead and do an Xbox One alpha code to one person that calls in on the show tonight, and goes and we find that person to have the best question or have the best conversation. We will go ahead and give them a Smite Xbox One alpha code. So we'll go ahead and put that out there. Yeah, so make sure you guys do call in. The information is directly below my stream right now. You can go ahead and see the information. Go to raidcall.com, download the program, and then go ahead and type in that channel that you see below and call in. And we'll give away the Xbox One alpha code to one lucky person. So, what else would you like to talk about this week, sir?
Let's talk about Hu Yi.
Hu Yi.
Well, you're not really a hunter player, so
not as much. Except I was playing like Neath and Joust right before this while I was listening to you and played.
What?
I like never play in Joust. I know, and I loved it. It was a lot of fun. I played your girl Neath.
That's interesting. Huh. Well, Hu Yi has a little. Well, let's talk about a couple of the people that got buffs and changes. There's only 2.
Okay.
One that will pertain to you a little bit. So, well, let's start with the one that kind of pertains to you, Mr. Guardian player. So, Kumbhakarna got a little buff on his epic uppercut.
Yep.
It's actually faster to execute now. Do you think that puts him in the meta now, my friend? Now he can uppercut you faster.
Was it ever an issue? Like, was it ever
0.7 is 0.4?
I guess my question to you, I'm going to return your question with a question, sir, is, you know, was it ever an issue that it needed to be faster? Like, I'm not a competitive player, so maybe this was based off of that at the competitive level, but I didn't think that was any, you know, was slow. I mean, you know, there was a build up to it, but I don't know. Do you think this?
Like a doom doom, and then you hit.
Yes. Yes.
Which in the world of Smite, you like that sound effect? I actually recorded the sound effect with my voice.
I bet you did. I bet you did.
For high res, I'm still getting paid off the royalties on that. It's actually pretty lucrative.
Yeah.
I think the game is just getting so fast paced they had to.
Okay.
Like I think for me and you, it probably doesn't matter too much.
Yeah.
You know, most people can't really avoid it anyway, especially if you set it up with your mez anyway. But maybe this puts them up a little bit more in rank where people have like lightning fast reflexes time, and something like this is just not good enough. A lot of people wanted his groggy strike to be faster. I think it's actually good the way it is because you can pre-charge it and hit it like you can actually prep it. And I think that opens up the door for a lot of skill ceiling type of abilities.
Yeah,
so, I like Kumbhakarna. I like the fact that he still has an ability that makes him lore related when it comes to I'm a sleepy guy, I'm a lumbering giant.
Yep.
Without it being kind of like destroying the balance of the game. So I like it. But I will, if you want to take a caller before we could, because I can talk all day about Hu Yi. we can save that one.
All right, cool. Well, let's go ahead. We'll bring in Nintendo Oblivion here. Nintendo Oblivion, how's it going, buddy?
It's going good.
Yeah.
¿Cómo
So,
estás?
I know. What would you like to talk about, sir?
First of all, on the Kumba thing, I think the thing about making him go faster is beforehand you needed to set up his ult. Now his ult is the setup.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
That is the big thing, because beforehand you would need some sort of CC to guarantee that hit. Now with that faster, you're able to sort of like, okay, now you're able to hit the ult, and now you still have your mez, you still have your 2, you still have everything else in your kit. So you still have more to offer, rather than you used your mez and then you used your ult on one target.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Nailed it.
No, that's very true. That's very true.
It's sort of like the same thing. Like it's kind of like how Naja right now when you play him, the idea was they sort of like, because you used to be just sash and ult. Now you see people just going around trying to hit that ult automatically, and they're trying to sort of like keep up with that as well. I guess because now at this point, because CC is so big, and it's so easy just to beads. Though kind of like if you get double CC'd, it's so easy to bead. So if you tried to set up the Kumba ult, you could easily like mez then they beat then you hit somebody with your ult while they're beads, and then you don't do anything. You just kind of waste your ult.
I hate that. I know. It's like the worst feeling ever when someone turns yellow and then your ult's on cooldown.
Ah, you kidding me? Yep.
The worst feeling ever.
The worst is when you're a Wheelix. When you grab somebody, you're gonna kill them, and then they beats. Oh.
Yep. Yep.
You see them fall to the ground slowly.
Yeah.
But,
what's your question, brother? What's going on?
One of the big things I want to talk about is gods that have fallen out of the meta for like no apparent reason.
Okay.
And what there's no like obvious reason that they've fallen off. There's probably a reason, but I just kind of want to talk about that and why the reason is.
Okay.
And I'll just start with probably a god that I'm surprised fell out. Ao Kuang.
Yeah, I think we've already just talked about it, huh? Mr. Beads Man. The worst. One of the worst with beads.
Yes. Yeah, beads, but the thing is though, overall, I don't think that really changed. I guess only real difference is, if anything, it should be better since while you're CC'd, you can't use Aegis. And I haven't tested this. Can you use Aegis when Ao Kuang ults you?
Yeah.
I don't know that you can.
Because
there's a split second, right? Yeah.
Are you able to? Because now it used to be before you could just Aegis while you're CC'd. Now, if you're CC'd, does that moment when he hits you count as a CC?
I think it does, but I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm not sure.
Because you do have a split second time when you can do something.
Yeah, because that would actually, if anything, I would have thought if that exists, that would make him even more valuable. Since now you have to have beads, not just hey, I can just Aegis this.
Sure.
Well, talking about like him a little bit, you know, he didn't necessarily fall out, I guess you could say. I mean, he's not like the top tier demanded god right now.
Oh, yeah.
He was for a short amount of time.
He won a tournament.
Yeah, but
that's because he caught everybody off guard with
yes,
let's be honest.
Yes, sure, exactly. Sure. So he wasn't kind of the upper tier, you could say, for the longest time, and it's not like he's fallen to the very bottom now, where like he's useless and worthless, you know. But he's definitely like. He's part of the other gods that are kind of made up of the balance. Like they're kind of gods that they're not terrible. They're not the best. They're kind of picked in certain situations and stuff like that. I kind of put him like side by side by someone like Arachne or Nuwa and stuff like that. So I don't know that he's fallen off tremendously, but the recent adjustments that have come into play, he's no longer like top tier anymore, I would say.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's kind of just, I haven't really thought about it too much. Just kind of when I kind of on the topic, I was like, okay, gods have fallen out of the meta, and I just thought of the first god that came to mind. That
that's a really good example.
Used to see a lot. And then another god.
At the same time, casual, he's still alive, and people don't know the beads. In casual queue, he's still a king.
Yeah, just those level 1 kills because dragons.
Exactly.
His burst damage is so stupid in the game, and it just gets better and better. But the thing is, everybody starts matching you, and then your health doesn't scale up as well.
Yeah, his health, he's so squishy. But if people are running away from you, it's the best thing ever because you just hold your left click button and it's beautiful.
That is very true. All right, well, what else you got? What else you got?
Well, it's sort of next god, Mercury. He's sort of he's one of my favorite gods in the game. Just because of the whole gotta go fast Sonic thing he's got going.
Yep.
He's like, because I know a while back when this was kind of when he sort of fell out, like when they nerfed his 3, when they kept
he couldn't play every role in the game. Is pretty much what it came down to. Yeah.
Yeah, and the one thing that I find interesting was the fact that the reason it's sort of like when he fell out, it's like okay. Everybody sort of stopped playing him, and then whenever I see him in the game, he still does so incredibly well. And then every time I wonder why. Like, why didn't I see him at the competitive level? And it's kind of like, it's sort of that thing where I know there's a reason, but you never see it because nobody ever picks it, and everybody knows it. But at the pro level, but what about us at the sort of like the intermediate level who don't really know that?
Yeah,
that's actually a really, really good point because Mercury is still really, really good, right? He's really, really good at backdooring. He's really, really good at. He's probably one of the only assassins besides like maybe Hun bots that can ult through a team fight and be safe.
Like, he can also he can instigate it. He's very good at instigating as well too with that ultimate.
Too. I think this is a matter of the fact that in SPL, and I'm just going to say SPL because that's probably the most widely watched, they only want to play the gods that have the most advantages. Like, they don't want to play any god that doesn't have the most advantages over everybody. So that's why we saw Mercury played a lot in the ADC role for a long time. The solo lane and the jungle. And he was just playing him everywhere because he had so many advantages. And now they brought him back to normal. They're like, oh, well, there's other gods that are like Circuit. There's other gods that have tons of advantages and tons of pluses. We don't have to pick Merc anymore. And I think a trickle-down effect happens. You see this, Octane? A trickle-down effect happens that all of a sudden, since regular people don't see him in pros anymore, they think, oh, well, he's not that good anymore. So what is everyone using? Oh, Ataraxia's using Fatalis, Heartseeker, and Ichabod. I'm going to do that from now on, right? Like, it's just a trickle-down effect. So I think people mimic what they see from SPL, even though it has no basis in casual reality, because Kumbhakarna is another good example someone was talking about before. Like, oh, Kumbhakarna is trash. I'm like,
no,
he's not.
He's really good.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
Kumbhakarna is SPL, but he's awesome.
Like the worst thing to go against.
Yep.
It's just like,
it's a nightmare.
You're so easy to deal with, but unless you have the right god going into it, you can't. Like, because he uses his 3. If you don't have any way to get him out of his 3, you're just kind of like stuck in there moving back and forth. You're just like, okay, do I go towards him and try to kill him, or do I run away and then hope to God that the moving back and forth motion doesn't make me stay in there for an extra 5 seconds?
Or I hope you have like a Ra on your team, or an Alquang, or a Kukulkan that just throw something on him. But yeah, I think this is
the thing about his 3 is so good, but if you know how to deal with it, you can deal with it so well, but you have to be prepared for it. That's one of the things about it. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I like him personally, because like because whenever I play a god, I'm like, okay, what do people not expect to go against?
That's actually really strong.
Yes, if you don't,
that's actually really strong.
The big thing that people don't really think about is like, okay, what everybody looks at the SPL like, okay, these are the big gods, and then you kind of like, you need to turn that mindset backwards, in my opinion, where it's like, okay, what do they not expect me to go against, and what do I expect them to have so that they can't deal with it? Like, a good example is, do they pick a god in the solo lane that doesn't have CC? And if do you expect them to pick a god with like lots of CC with a jump? Like, do I pick a Wheelix? Do I not? Or knockups? Like, there's that whole mindset, and in a casual level, that's actually probably one of the best things you can have, is that knowledge of what do people like to play,
and they just play against it.
Yes.
Play something that's just not seen very often.
Yes, if you know how to deal with it, and then that's kind of one of the big things. Like, even at a higher level, this works, but it usually only works in solo lane, just because of that early pick solo.
Yes.
There's like that late pick solo where it's like, okay, last pick. Okay, who do I? Because everybody saves solo for last, and I have no idea why. I'm thankful for it, but
because they're the
I have no idea.
backbone, man. They're the backbone.
Because you can play anything in solo. Come on now, if you're that good, you can play anything.
Yeah, just play Sobek solo.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Or it could be like FG, where he's like, no one's going to pick Neja, so I'll be good to go.
I can't do it anymore because there's jerks like Hades over there, and it just ruins my life.
Oh, what? There's a god that counters your god now? Oh, no.
He just makes it hard for me.
Makes you actually have to work. You have to work for it now, huh?
Him clearing the wave at level 2 is kind of annoying. I mean, come on, let's be real. Yeah. I don't know how much longer that's going to be in the game.
Oh yeah, you think you got a nerf coming?
I hope if they better not nerf him, because honestly, where he is right now, he's like barely in the meta as it is, and that the one reason why he's in this meta is because he has clear.
That's true.
Yeah. Clear is like the name of the game in season 2. Like, being able to, since everyone can't really clear that well at the early levels, being able to get those first get that momentum going. You can't go wrong with like a Sylvanas, and who's the best hunter over there right now? Sylvanas and On Her with fantastic clear. You have Hades over there with solo lane. Yep. You push the momentum in your favor really, really early, and that's so huge. Getting a couple kills it can be demotivating. It can get you your item builds faster. I mean, it's terrible.
Yeah.
So get Hades out of there. I just don't think he's really clear the lane
like the whole
that
clear.
You're
change
already
season
looking
2.
to get rid of him. You're already like, oh, he's got a counter. Get rid of him. I don't want to have to try.
He has the best clear in the game by too much of a margin.
Okay.
Too much of a
The
margin.
whole clear change in season 2 is the whole reason why I just stopped playing ADC, because Apollo was my favorite ADC. Just not because of anything like, oh, he was good. I just like the skin. I just like the secret agent skin. So I was like, okay, this is really like the best voice pack, and I'm just like, all of a sudden, I can't even play in the lane anymore because I press 1 when it's maxed out and the archers are still alive.
Yeah. And then you
like-
have to
it's
fight
like-
those while someone's boxing you, which is the worst.
I mean, he still has this amazing late game. Like, I still say that only person who matches his late game would be Gibelante, and that's just because it's passive.
Yep.
They both have different passives that pretty much get you the same thing in the end. They both allow you to box better, but one gets it through attack speed, the other just gets it through raw damage.
Okay.
And this is kind of why you don't see Apollo as much in the SPL, because there's no guarantee for late game.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
that's why people are like, there's just no guarantee.
Yeah, the idea is, I like this sort of try to end it early thing.
Sure.
What are these 45-minute games you speak of?
Yeah, these just try to shut. I kind of like it's sort of like in the SPL. I think it creates more of a tension rather than, because you see those teams, they draft the late game comp and then there's the early game comp. It's like usually that's what you see. Usually when you look at the teams, there's like, okay, there's this one team where they have like, okay, they put a god in there to try to kill off the solo lane who's trying to get into the late game. Meanwhile, they're just like, okay, I just want to farm. I just want to farm. I just want to farm.
I'll see you in 22 minutes.
And then it's
You
just
must
kind of
be in solo lane.
It's interesting because one of the most interesting things you can do in any type of sporting event in gaming, anything, is the comeback. That is the most exciting thing you see. That's the reason why everybody talked about Aquila, now Titan. Like when they came back from Cloud9, it's like, oh god, that was like the best thing to watch. I remember watching that. That was like, that's the whole reason why I started playing solo lane, was because Comfrey. It's like,
And because it's
okay,
awesome.
Yes, it's just like, okay, you can do this with an Aphrodite and solo lane, just kind of keep your Cali alive, and then like, I don't like being that person in the center of sort of like the center role, where it's like, okay, I'm getting all the kills, I get the quadra, I get the penta. I don't like doing that, mostly because I feel like there's too much pressure there.
Yeah. No, I can see that.
I hate doing that, because like then it's like, okay, people blame you when you mess up, and like and getting blamed is never fun, especially when it's by random people on the internet.
Yeah. Okay, well, cool.
Meanwhile, if I play like a sort of support, because I tend to play more of a supporter style in the solo lane rather than like that hard carry. Like if I play Vimana, I'm gonna be able more tanky. Rather, because like I think Vimana is like that god where it's like that kind of like you kind of have so much freedom with how you can play him that was one of the first solo lanes I picked up. There was so much freedom in how you can learn how you can play him that you kind of like. You have to have him in your pool if you ask me if you're playing in solo.
It's true.
It's like,
Absolutely.
you can't really go wrong with him because there's no real like win or lose against him. Like I don't really think he beats out anybody in the lane, in laning phase, but he doesn't really lose to anyone because of his clear.
Okay, cool. That's true. So what other questions you got for us, sir?
Look, I guess I could go back to gods. I've sort of fallen out of the meta. Crap, I should have had the list pulled up.
That's okay. Well, why don't we?
Let's just
go ahead.
Let's just sort of talk about several other gods that have fallen out of meta. Gods that have gotten into it. Poseidon. That is sort of the big mid laner all of a sudden.
I mean, Poseidon has come back to mid lane.
Yeah.
You know, he was when he was first added into the game. He played a big role, especially with the cripple that was on his whirlpool.
He's always been this sort of in and out. But lately, since season 2 started, he's been in. He's stayed in. I haven't seen him gone out.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed seeing him and Agni kind of back in middle, taking a lot of control in mid again. There's been a lot of guys that have fluctuated in and out of mid. A few other ones, like kind of Scylla's kind of been in the same boat. She kind of has come and gone and is still very good. Who are you seeing a lot of FG in middle right now?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about Poseidon. There's a,
Yep.
I think there's a kind of a reason why is because Poseidon's easier to use in Scylla, even at a pro level. Like, you can see the difference between MLC playing Scylla and someone else playing Scylla just because they were forced to pick it just so MLC couldn't get it. And it's night and day. Like, she's not the game changer in someone else's hands. And this is at SPL level.
Yeah.
You know, no offense to my man Boosh, but he played Scylla one game, and it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't really a game changer, but he had to pick her to get her out of the hands of MLC. A lot more people are just more comfortable with Agni. They're more comfortable with Poseidon and his ability to get from lane to lane.
I think people, just on Scylla, I don't think that the fact that the big thing about Scylla is that she's not a god that's a game changer, in the sense that she doesn't cause the game to change. Having her in your kit just changes how you play the game entirely as a team.
Oh yeah.
Because all of a sudden you have this big attack you have this big ult, deals 1,000 damage. You kill somebody with it, and then you get another 1,000 damage. There's this, all of a sudden you have this different mentality of, okay, who gets the kill?
I can see that.
If you have a Scylla on your team, you need to set up the Scylla ult so that Scylla gets the kill, so you have that option to keep dealing that massive damage. And there's nothing scarier than seeing, in my opinion, than seeing a Scylla hit an ult, get a kill, and then you have to deal with another one of those.
Yeah.
Maybe you aegis the ult, but the person next to you didn't, and they died. And now you don't have your aegis anymore, and there's still a Scylla with an ult. that is one of the scarier things when you realize that when your teammate died, and then now you all of a sudden, because your teammate died, you have to deal with another ult. You have to deal with another attack, and setting up that level of intimidation, and that's something that takes a lot of teamwork, and you have to have that practiced and down to pretty much an art to be able to hit that.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, Nintendo, thanks for calling in tonight, man. I appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah, and if you're doing the Xbox alpha thing, don't worry about me for that, because first of all, I don't have an Xbox.
All right.
I couldn't use it, so.
Good to know. Thank you, sir.
PC Master Race.
Of course, you had to sneak that in there before you left.
That's right. Alrighty, so let's talk a little bit about Hu Yi. We were just talking about him before we jumped into the call. So, what changes happened to Hu Yi, and why are you excited?
He no longer has to charge up his ricochet shot.
Where it's like that whole like
instant ricochet now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I had to say about Hu Yi.
You're killing me.
No, I think it's a really. I don't think this puts him completely in the meta, but I think we'll start seeing a lot more pros playing him, and it opens up so much. Have you ever been hit with the hunter's mark on you off of a ricochet shot? Like, have you ever really been hit by that?
When I've been hit by it, I'm always impressed too, because I'm like, damn, he just hit that ricochet. Like, that was pretty good. And then
it opens the door for some really cool plays, especially when you're fighting inside the mid camp area, or you're fighting in a place that's enclosed and you can ricochet it multiple times in the middle of a team fight. So I hope we see him. I don't think we will necessarily, but I think this puts him a step closer to being in SPL level. We'll see. We'll just kind of see how it goes. But his team fight ultimate is so good. His ricochet is now better. I think the only problem with him right now is his hunter's mark, which it's not called hunter's mark. I'm just calling it that.
WoW player, you. Gosh, that's okay. I don't recall the exact name of it. It doesn't say it's crown of
like
something.
Golden Crow or something.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. See,
the Golden Crow.
There you go. You got it. See,
who wants to say that when I can just say hunter's mark? Everyone knows what I'm talking about.
That is very true, though. That's very true.
The problem with that, man, you put it on someone and they leave the team fight, and there goes your steroid.
Yeah.
It's like this is great. So if you put it on someone like a Scylla and she sentinels out, you don't have a steroid anymore, and you're kind of you're balanced on the fact that you're gonna have that. So he's not super strong when he doesn't have it, and it's kind of annoying. Everybody else that has a steroid that's a hunter gets to use it on anyone that's in the area. So hopefully they do something with that. I don't know what it's gonna be. But it's gonna be cool.
Oh yeah. So what else from this patch that kind of that you're kind of super pleased with? I'm just kind of taking a look through and see.
So we talked about Artemis being able to target her boar, which is awesome.
And for those of you guys, the exact details are added a 40-degree cone to the targeter, allowing Tusky to prioritize targets within the cone. Compared to like you throw down Tusky, and it just goes anywhere at once, and you kind of don't have any control over it. So that's pretty sweet. Let's see. Trying to see what else we got here. We talked about Kumba a little bit there.
Yeah, that's
What
pretty
about
much it.
what about Thor? Added timer on the ground targeter indicating when the ability will expire and Thor will be forced to land. What do you think
Little
about?
quality of life there.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Hopefully they keep putting that on more people.
Okay.
Right? We need to know how long you're gonna. Well, does Scylla have it? Scylla has it on her Sentinel when she teleports, but she doesn't have it on her I'm a Monster. So you don't really know how long your I'm a Monster's
Yeah.
up.
So you think this is kind of like a trial type of deal, like how we're gonna try it out? And do you think it's geared more towards new? Okay, here's a good question. Debate on it. Is this needed? Is this focus more on new players, or is this holding hands and putting on training wheels to the fact?
Are you that guy, Octane?
No, I'm asking. Or do you feel the opposite direction of this in regards to, hey, this is something that players should learn, and they should start to learn the timings and stuff like that. Like there is a gap there. I mean, we've kind of talked about, and here's another example. This lines up very much so to the timers added to all the camps. That was a big controversy. Like, oh, is this hand holding too much? Or, is it something that players should just learn, in order to benefit the more skilled players that actually take the time to invest in knowing the timers? So what are your thoughts?
Absolutely, it's needed.
Okay.
Quality of life, man. It doesn't change the game. It's a quality of life. So it's nice to know when, like for example, your Arachne. It's nice to know when you're going to come down. Right, because you're up there and you're old. You don't know. You have no idea unless you're like reading the tooltips. You're counting while you're in the middle of a team fight. You shouldn't have to do that. It should be intuitive. You should be able to play the game in front of you, and being able to, like, these aren't going to make. If you're bad at the game, this is not going to make you automatically good. It's just a quality of life, right?
Okay.
I saw a post on Reddit where some guy was upset that this was hand holding, just kind of what you said, and I just don't agree, man. This is not going to make you a better player.
It's it rewards the players that have taken the time to play the god and master the god to the point where they know the timings. You have to admit that if the timers weren't implemented, I'm up in the air about it. I see both sides, to be honest with you. Part of me is like, oh, this is really, really nice, but at the same time, I'm like, why? Like, why do we have to give this timer? Why can't players learn and start to understand and develop their skill around the god to the point where they are able to go, okay, I'm up as Thor, and the timer should be running out in the next few seconds, so I should go ahead and hit. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's kind of on both sides. So I'm kind of sitting in between. I'm eager to see where it lands. I was not. I will say I'll tell you where I was with the camp timers. I didn't like the camp timer adjustment. I preferred that as a jungler, that you would master that timing, and that's what made you better at being a jungler, was mastering the timing. So that was just my thoughts on it.
What about the people that had the out-of-game apps where they hit the jungle timer? Jungle timer's dead.
Okay.
Play the game.
So be it.
I think that just kind of... It changes the game. If you need to be, in order to play to the next level, you need to start having outside resources. So
no, whoever said that was required, though. Whoever said that was required.
What?
Whoever said the outside app timer was required in order to be a top level player.
Or just a really good memory. I guess.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like when you killed camps at the 3-minute mark, you were watching the timer at the top and being like, okay, the 6-minute mark is approaching. Great, I should re-rotate back to middle. Like that benefits you compared to being like.
Well, that's very simple. 3 minutes, 6 minutes. It was never like that. It was like 3:24. Like, okay, I'll be back. 3:20. I'll be there. No more math, Octane.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
What? Somebody in chat has a good reasoning. They say, for me, that's like saying, why have an odometer? Drivers should learn how fast they're driving. Exactly.
Oh,
no, I'm kidding.
Thank you,
I'm kidding.
219.
I'm kidding. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from there. So we're starting to get
actually a really good analogy.
We're starting to get more and more people jumping into raid calls, so we do appreciate it. So let's go ahead and bring in some more callers here.
And let them talk.
That's right. Killing y'all. Welcome to SmiteTalk. How's it going, sir?
Doing good.
Hey. So what do you want to talk about today?
All right, let's talk about the bot lane.
Okay.
What, the solo lane or?
Just like not bot lane, dual lane.
Dual
How
lane.
do you guys feel about them taking away GP5?
So
Walker's gift.
Oh,
So
okay.
they just recently buffed it again, didn't they? I'm not a Guardian player. I'm going to have to rely on this one.
No, my understanding was with that adjustment was that they were making adjustments to Watcher's Gift. They were adding, for what I recall, I'd have to find the exact details, but they were adding MP5 to it to make it a little bit more valuable to a Guardian. Because you remember last show we were kind of talking about like where Guardians are at in the game right now and how it's a constant struggle to try to keep up with level, and you have to buy certain items in order to keep your level up, but at the same time you're constantly going back because you're using, like, your mana is just going through the roof. So they were making those adjustments. Killing y'all, do you have that information in regards to what adjustments they made to Watcher's Gift?
I just know that they took off the MP5 or the GP5 and put MP5 on for the sustain.
Yeah.
But they took out Midas boots also.
Yes, and that was something. Usually, it was like Watcher's Gift Midas boots was like the way that you used to do as your Guardian, and then you go into like Sovereignty or something like that. And now, I'm really happy about Watcher's Gift now. Granted, you're not getting the gold that you should be, but think about it. You're going to be in lane longer. And this was something FG and I talked about. Like, as a Guardian, it's always a struggle to keep up in level. One, because you can't clear lane very well. And two, you're having to back because your mana consumption is so high. So now having that additional MP file as a Watcher's Gift is rather attractive, to be honest with you. What are you thinking, FG?
And not to mention, like I said, I'm not a Guardian player, so I don't know the full impact of it, but I just want to make sure that also the jungle camps now trigger the passive as well.
Yeah.
So being in range of a minion, within 60 yards, give you +4 bonus gold. So that also helps with jungle camps. That's why you see so many supports over there with the rare harpies, waiting for the speed buff so they can get that gold too. So net, I don't notice a difference. But like I said, I'm not really Guardian.
Because I've been playing Guardian since Alpha.
Whoa,
right, so
okay, good for you.
We're talking early 2012 is when I started playing Smite.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So with like Watcher's Gift to me is basically like null and void for my Guardian play now. For any dual bot lane, it's all about Mark of the Vanguard.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and Mark of the Vanguard, if you remember, you've been playing for a while now, so this is great. So, as you remember as a Guardian, Mark of the Vanguard was like a required item when it first came out because it was amazing. And now that kind of went away, and then Watcher's Gift kind of played that role, and then Watcher's Gift went away, and now it's back. So, are you, from your experience right now playing, are you happy with the additional MP5, and are you noticing it? Especially because like that blue buff, is not really there anymore. Or did you prefer the gold? Which one?
I preferred the gold because the gold got boots. You got boots online faster, so then you got more gold, which puts more wards on the map, which puts more pressure on the map.
Okay.
So as a person that's on the outside, didn't they reduce the cost of Sovereignty and those base items that you have to kind of like offset this?
Sovereignty, I don't believe got a small.
It was nothing. It was nothing significant. It was nothing crazy.
Okay. I think it used to be like 2,300. Now it's 2,100.
Yeah, it wasn't a huge change for the fact of removing that gold per 5. So it was nothing crazy.
So like the way I play now is like boots are second item, maybe even third item. Like
really? Wow. Okay. So what are you starting out with then? What are your first 2 items if you're going boots third?
I would say Sovereignty online first, depending on what Guardian you're using.
Wow, that's expensive though. That's kind of expensive to go into Sovereignty completely right away, isn't it?
Kind of, but if you think about it, you got to stay in lane longer, so now you got to survive longer.
Sure, but as a Guardian, your biggest struggle is like mana consumption, and I feel like if you're going back to it, like I'm just discussing it. I'm not like saying you're wrong in any way at all. To me, and maybe our play styles are completely different. To me, I would definitely start out with either Mark of the Vanguard or that Watcher's Gift. Go into your boots. But when you start out with that Watcher's Gift, going ahead, obtaining Hog, and then getting a decent amount of pots, like 4 pots, in order to sustain that lane longer. It sounds like you're investing a lot of gold right off the back into Sovereignty. Are you finding that you're not having to back as often for health and mana reasons?
Well, another thing is I play the save your mana for the engage.
Okay.
That's how I've always played. So I've always played the save your mana for the engage. And you're not there to clear a wave, so why use abilities on the wave itself?
Do you play now? Guardians play differently. Just asking. Are you playing? Do you play a little more passively as a Guardian? Because for me, I play very aggressively, and maybe that's why I go that build I go because of the necessity of that mana.
Well, put up the next point is like ADCs have had a huge hit to their wave clear. So what I do is like instead of playing passively, you got to play around the lane. So it all depends on who I'm laning with.
Okay.
Like if you have a Cupid has a great wave clear now, and he can sustain you in health in lane. So then you can play more aggressively because you're going to push them out of lane as fast. So by the time they back you clear wave, you can get back by the time they get back.
Okay. I can see that comment. Interesting.
So what happens is now you can sustain fights so much longer that you can get the push out of the wave. And if you're still at half health, half mana, you're in for your wards on their side. You're on the mid camp rotation. You're on hopefully if your jungler's on point, you're at all of his jungle takes, so you can help take all that if you have Watcher's Gift. But it's kind of like one of those like hit or miss things for me.
Would you prefer to see Watcher's Gift back to gold per 5 and Midas Boots back, or are you starting to enjoy the meta a little more for Guardians right now?
I would rather see Midas Boots keep. I'd rather see Midas Boots up the price of Midas Boots because Midas Boots was ridiculously cheap. What were they, like 1,100?
They were very cheap. Yep.
Like put them at like 1,500, and then keep Watcher's Gift the way it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Because now you have a good balance. Because like I said, I just rush Sovereignty, just rush it instantly. I mean, I play at a decently high level.
No, I think that's awesome. So FG, I have to ask you, as such a famous YouTuber and doing all those YouTube videos on Guardians, what do you recommend from your professional approach?
You are hilarious. I don't have any support videos.
Really?
Videos.
Really? Are you kidding me?
Support.
What about
support, dude?
What happens when a new god comes out? Are you not doing a video on that new support that comes out? You're just like, nope, not doing it, not touching it.
Yeah, I think Geb was probably the last one.
Oh, man.
Or do it in Arena or Siege, where it's totally different.
Make sure everybody who subscribed to FG3000 unsubscribe until he does your Guardian videos.
That's not nice.
Well, killing y'all. Any other questions or comments you'd like to give us today about Guardians?
Another thing is, what do you guys think about removing mid camps?
I don't like it. I think I like the objective aspect of it, where when that timer does pop up for them, that it forces you to go ahead and rotate to go ahead and clear that because of there's advantage. If anything, I'd love to see more of this, more objectives throughout the map that force you, or if it's a different map or a different game mode. But I'm about the objectives. I really like them versus let's just clear lane and kill each other and hope for the best type of deal. Like I like objectives that change the direction of the game significantly, and clearing mid camps, it definitely is one of those. So that's what I'd like. What about UFG?
No, yeah, I totally agree. Just, they're like a necessary evil. Nobody likes going 3 minutes, 6 minutes, 9 minutes. Like it's kind of, but if where the action is going to happen, like you have to leave or you're going to fall behind. You're not going to get out the enemy team's going to get more farm than you. So you have to come out of your hole and you have to go fight. So I like it. I mean, it does limit what type of things you can do in the mid lane, but I think that's an okay price to pay. But I think that's the only person that really gets affected is the mid camp, the mid laner, because they have to be a character that can help you clear the mid camps and help zone out enemies in the mid camps, and that's why you see so many Poseidons there, for example, and Agnis. They're so good, so they get kind of the sore end of the deal of it because they limit who can be mid, but all in all, it's great for the game. You always know where support, jungle, and mid are going to be. They're always going to fight. You can't get away from it. It keeps the games moving. It's so many good things. And
the only reason
if there were no mid camps, where would they be?
Because I've done this thing as like we decided it was three of us. I had my jungler and ADC, and then I was playing the support. I said, let's not even try for mid camps. I'm going to walk with the jungler, and I'm going to help him clear all of his jungle out.
Oh, I remember this meta.
Now what happens is you give up mid camp, and the mid does get stronger. The other mid does get stronger, but I can double gank with the jungler, which then I can put so much pressure on every other lane that the other jungler doesn't know what to do. Because if I get a ward on his speed and his red, I can take it whenever I feel, whenever I want to. Because if I'm with the jungler, the ADC rotates on the red, and the mid and solo laner can rotate on others.
I can see what you mean. I don't know this. I'd be interested to see stats behind it in regards to where the value's at from a jungling perspective on that XP. There were some other good comments in chat. You know, kind of the mid camps force those fights on various times during the game where they might not have occurred without it. So I think there's a few things that can be said for it. I like them. I'd like to see some adjustments made towards them compared to just like, oh, here's two harpies. They come up every so often, you know, the timer, and you know, it's, I don't know. I think they could do more with it. I like it, but I think they could do more with it.
See, that's what I think. I think they need to do more with it, because you can actually lose game without a support rotating. A support can stay in lane and never rotate. And you sit there and you rotate, and you can actually get under-leveled by the support staying and just clearing with his ADC.
That's true.
That's why it's like, it's a double-edged sword. It's like, you're like, oh, I'm going to go get these, but you can get both of them, and you could still lose levels on the other support.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good point.
So, like, if the other support doesn't want to rotate, then you're not really gaining much, because all they're going to do is like, oh, he left, force ADC out of lane, push the tower, take whatever they want, or take tower.
Yeah, that's true. Well, man, thanks. Go ahead.
And the other thing is the Poseidon. Poseidon is probably by far, in my opinion, the strongest jungler at this time.
Jungler? Wow.
He jungled quite a bit. There was a stretch of time where SunTouch was doing Poseidon jungle quite a bit.
He is probably the strongest jungler, because his ganks are ridiculous with his
ganks
triple.
are so good.
It's because of the war. Yeah, I can see that.
The speed he can walk through the jungle, and then come behind you. There's a puddle. What are you gonna do?
Put on your floaties and hope for the best.
Yeah, and it's just so amazing. Especially like my favorite Guardian ever is Bacchus, and with his change to his 1 has made him ridiculously strong. Because when he chugs, his level 1 chug is 33%. He is already right there. Tipsy. Like he's he's there. Like it's ready to go. And the next best thing is the best duo lane I have played in the new season 2 is a Wheelix and Bacchus.
Okay, I like it.
Because
the
pop-up
synergy
is amazing, and because he's tipsy, it's just instant. And he has great wave clear with his belch.
Bacchus has always been super strong. Like his kit is it's fun to use. It's easy to use. It's devastating. It does a lot of damage. Like
I don't know.
Bacchus is really good.
Easy. He's another Sobek. He's fickle. Like he can get himself into a lot of trouble quick.
That's true. That's true.
Like, you know, you miss that Sobek pull or you miss that Bacchus pop-up, you're kind of like, yeah, now what do I do?
Burp and walk away. And make sure you say, bye-bye.
That's awesome.
You know, and so it's just, I just feel like the duo lane has issues in the game right now.
I disagree.
But I just think it's little issues. It's just that little bit of wave clear that they've taken away from so many ADCs have kind of it's just put it in a weird state in my opinion.
Okay. Well, good. I could definitely see that. Well, man, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. You have a good night.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh man,
that's actually a really good point, man, about the long lane.
Yeah.
You have all these. They wanted to change what hunters you use over there in the long lane, so they reduced clears, but all that really did was just change the top hunters to another set of top hunters. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't make them all viable. It just switched which ones were viable.
Exactly. That's very true. And a different like play style almost now to a degree. It seems like with those hunters as well. All right. Well, let's go ahead take another caller. Who is this caller? Who is this person? Why are you calling in?
What?
Don't make me sound like some sort of creep.
I know. Who's this creeper? Who's this creeper? What's up, buddy?
Do I not even get my own introduction?
Nope. Introduce yourself. Introduce yourself.
That would take like 4 minutes. Okay. I'm Chaostic, editor of Smite Mag, director of operations for Smite Central. Hold on, wait. Let me get through the list. Editor of Smite Mag, director of operations Smite Central, forum manager, some other stuff. There you go.
So now that you got those special titles out of the way, what do you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, I've just recently learned after playing the Conquest Season 2 map for the first time, I'm terrible.
If you're playing for the first time, you're definitely out of practice now.
Yeah, you're a little rusty. You're a little rusty.
I do not play Conquest.
Okay.
I play Siege.
Okay. Now I have to ask you. I have to ask because I'm interested to find out why don't you play Conquest? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just asking why don't you play Conquest?
There's a few different reasons, to be honest. I mean, the first one, the first thing that put me off was the huge time investment of sitting there and spending 45 minutes to an hour and a half at some points, just sort of grinding away and not feeling like you're getting anywhere because it's a push and pull a lot. But then, I don't know, I just didn't like the strict meta, to be honest. I preferred Siege, being able to do whatever I wanted. And
okay.
Yeah, all that stuff.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I enjoy Siege a ton. I like the objective, point of it. I love I very much enjoy Siege because one, it's not just towers and jungle. It's also the objective factor. We're adding in that other thing. I'm a big fan of this objective. It's just kind of talked about with the mid harpies. So I can see where you're coming from to a degree. So now that you have found that the Conquest map in Season 2 is a little rough for you, what are your thoughts overall on where that can be improved?
To be honest, I think it was just a practice thing.
Okay.
I mean, I hadn't played Conquest. I haven't played a proper Conquest match in probably 5 months, something like that. So to go onto a complete switch, it was just weird. But I mean, the actual thing that I was going to ask was more because I'm terrible at the whole game. I was going to focus more on the community. So
Smart man.
yeah, it's worked thus far. So I've pretty much been in and around the community for like the past year, and obviously it's now the first birthday of Smite and everything. So it's, in my eyes, the community has grown loads in the past month. And there's been some huge names that have come out of the woodwork from practically nothing as well. So I was just wondering what you wanted to see and what you were hoping to see in the next 12 months in the community.
It's a question for us, Octane.
I know. That's all you first, FG. I've been talking. We were talking about Guardian, so it's all you. You start. Start.
I'm gonna butcher my man's name, but his name is Zioden. He's a new cast. He's the guy that's been.
Oh yeah.
So that's something that I've really wanted to see. Not even last season as well as this season. I'm glad we're starting to see people, like you said, come out of the woodwork, so to speak. So he's the guy that has been uploading the VODs of all of the pro games to the YouTube. So he's been watching pro matches for a very, very, very long time, and now he's casting the Challenger Cup, and people finally get to hear this man's voice. They see how knowledgeable he is with the game, and they instantly embraced him. I love that about the community. If you come out, you show effort, you say, hey, this is what I've been doing, this is what I'm doing now, this is how dedicated I am. The community is very, very accepting of people who, show, like, for example, you say you don't really play a lot of Conquest. People aren't going to beat you over the head with it because they know how dedicated you are in other parts of the community, right? No one in chat will be like, oh, get this noob off of here, doesn't play Conquest. So I love the fact that we're going to get a new caster this year. I'm pretty sure he'll be casting SPL very soon. Mark my words. Hopefully we see a new round of Xbox talent. Oh, look, there he is.
Wow, your voice just went up a few octaves. I love it.
What was I gonna say? Xbox community. I hope we see a whole new line of like not only just gameplay creators, but people that make machinima and all these people that come out of the woodworks as the game grows. You're opening the door to 11 million potential customers with Xbox. There's a lot of people out there that not only just play on Xbox, they also play on PC. They have all these skills and, you know, creating videos and making funny skits and songs. So that's what I want to see from the community, man. More casters, more YouTube sensations. I want to see all this. I want to see more Penguins of Death. I want to see all of this. So I want to see more DM Brandons. I want to see another Dry Bear come out of the woodwork. Like, I want to see more of that. So, and I think we're on pace to do that.
To be honest, I think you sort of hit the nail on the head with saying YouTube sensations, because I think what most people do with their content is they would take a skill that they previously know. So, for instance, with me, I was creating magazines already, so I just went, I'll do a Smite one. So,
yeah.
I just think that a lot of people haven't. They can't see how they can apply their previous knowledge to the Smite community and how it can help.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So I think there's going to be quite a few people, or at least I'm hoping there's going to be quite a few people who will just be like, oh, this thing really works. They try it once, they get great reception, maybe through the Smite showcase and stuff. For instance, you know, Liberty Jewel, he with his musical parodies, he did one or two, and they weren't all that well received. He then did one that went ridiculously well, and now just keeps churning them out, and they're great. But like, it was just that one that he did that went so well, and I think hopefully we can see a lot more of that, of people actually applying their other skills to the scene.
Yeah, I think for me, taking a little bit different approach to it. So what I'd like to see is, I'd like to see the grassroots scene of Smite have an opportunity to flourish a little bit more. Are we offline now? Did I just see us go offline?
Burr?
Let me check real quick, just to be sure.
Let's sigh on your internet connection.
No, not my side. Trust me. Just want to make sure. No, we're still good. Okay. One of the things that I'd like to see is the grassroots side have the opportunity to flourish a little bit more. And what I mean by that is the competitive community grassroots side. Hi-Rez very much inorganically fed the esports scene, starting out very, very early on, if those of you guys remember going back a ways, you had the My Revenge tournaments that were going on then, and who was the other one? It was My Revenge and SmiteTube were like the only organization. Who was that? Was there anyone else that was hosting tournaments? Like, that was it. And Hi-Rez was throwing gems their way in order to host these tournaments, and then there was a period of time in which all of a sudden Hi-Rez decided, we're going to go ahead and kind of pull back from feeding the community a little bit, and we're kind of going to do our own thing now. And then they started to this was all kind of turn up like their type of weekly tournaments that they were doing, and that's how that kind of transpired. But there was the community, and we were all, that's right, somebody in chat, the Denial tournament, perfect. There were these, I should call them little, but there was these startup websites in the Smite scene that were getting a lot of traffic, and the tournaments were great and huge, and they were the place to go. It was like, okay, back then, calendars started to get built around like what websites are out there, what websites are out there, and what tournaments are available for me. Well, all of a sudden, like, Hi-Rez grabbed the reins and was like, we're inorganically going to take it and jumpstart the scene, and we're going to toss $1,000 a week or whatever at teams, and we're going to start to do that. And these tournaments started to fade, and there's been some that have stuck around, like Smite Central does some as well, but what I'd love to see moving forward in the next year is I'd love to see more and more websites start up that have tournaments being run on their sites that are not fed by Hi-Rez Studios. And it's not that what Hi-Rez Studios is doing, it's awesome that they're so helpful, but to see the publisher constantly having to throw money or gems at other organizations doesn't expand the scene to me. I'd rather see those websites go out to sponsors, pull those sponsors into the scene, and the sponsors be paying for the tournaments. And the sponsor, you know what I mean? And so these websites flourishing. Like, I'd love to be able to see XYZ Smite website come out and being like, okay, we are sponsored by Monster. We are sponsored by... Now, granted, that stuff takes time, and I completely understand that. And like Intel, but that's not there. So what we have is we have all these community websites that don't have any big sponsors, which don't have additional income coming into the scene. So there isn't these tournaments that are starting up with and flourishing. And so I want to see this grassroots scene established that has never had the opportunity to in Smite, so that we as a community are not dependent on high res for our competitive grassroots structure. And the final part of that is, not everybody needs to be a top caliber player to be playing in tournaments. I come from different scenes where I've come into the Smite scene, and like people were playing in tournaments from like your average Joe Schmoes to your noob players. Like everybody would play in tournaments, and they play for nothing, for no prize money, just to play because they wanted to play in tournaments. We don't really have that anymore. It's like if there is no prize pool, nobody plays because it's not worth their time. So that's my rant and 2 cents of just kind of how I'd like to see the scene start to grow over the next year if we have the opportunity.
That was more than 2 cents.
Ah!
I could buy a pizza with that.
So what are your thoughts on it? Reflect, both of you guys. What are your thoughts?
I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
Go for it.
Because whilst it would be ideal, it would be a really ideal situation to be able to take a complete clean site and be like, all right, you're now gonna do these tournaments or whatever, and they're gonna be big, and we're gonna get you Monster as a sponsor and that sort of stuff.
No.
I know exactly how hard it is to do that.
Yep.
To start it from absolutely nothing.
Yep.
And the main issue is whilst you said it would take time to get these sponsors in and stuff.
Yep.
Most of the sites disappear because people aren't interested in watching the tiny little tournaments or
I agree.
stuff like that. So that the viewership isn't there, which I mean, it's not the community's fault, because personally I prefer to watch something that's going to be huge and going to get loads of news coverage than a tiny tournament with 6 teams or something.
Yep.
But without that initial sort of push from Hi-Rez within the grassroots scene, I don't think it would kickstart itself, so to speak, unless there was a general consensus of the community that they went, all right, we're all going to do this now. We're all going to, like every day at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, we're going to go to a different site, and rotate around these different things. But that's an ideal situation. I mean, it's not something that I can see definitely happening.
Oh, I think it's because of the fact that we have jump started things so quickly. I mean, think about it. Look how early on in beta we were doing cash $1,000 tournaments. I think we completely surpassed it, and now we're at a point where I don't know that we can get back to that. I don't know that these types of things that we're talking about here, which should have started in beta and alpha, have an opportunity to even flourish at this point, because exactly what you said, you know what I mean? We may be past that point because we can't have that. We may not be able to have that.
I don't think we're past it, but what I think it is purely motivation around the individual companies, the individuals who are running those tournaments and all that sort of stuff. Because if you start a tournament and you're getting 5 viewers, but that then sort of spawns one person to start a news site that just sort of writes news about your tournament, which then ends up writing a couple of other ones. Yep. That would be its own grassroots scene, and that would be a much smaller scene within Smite. But it's then down to the casters keeping their motivation. It's then down to the writer who's keeping his motivation, the players who are keeping theirs, and because it's relying on so many different people to operate, I don't necessarily think it would be as successful as, say, a Penguin of Death or something like that. Who it's one guy who has just sort of, all right, I'm just going to do this and see what happens, and because it's one guy, he's only relying on himself rather than relying on 20 other people. Because if you're in a team of people, and I've seen this time and time again, if you're in a team of people, if 1 or 2 people lose their motivation, it drags the entire group down. So there definitely has to be some sort of support structure to be able to nurture that early scene, to be able to help it grow. But again, that would sort of defeat the point in some respects. It's a very gentle balance, I'd say.
So do you think it needs to be taken from the top down in regards to what if we, I'm just talking about grassroots and these tournaments and stuff like that. What if we had to change the way that these were structured to the point where, like, you had the pro, let's look at other esports. We have like the pro scene, but then you have like we'll start from the bottom actually. You have your open tournaments that are out there that you could go ahead in and qualify for. And there's all different open tournaments. And then from there it goes into like a qualifier. And then from there it goes up like, what if we had these larger tournaments here's another thought to it. If we structured, let's say high res next year, not this season but next season, structures the way that, hey, we're going to partner with these 5 websites, and those 5 websites are going to hold open tournaments, and you have to play in these websites, community run websites, open tournaments to then get into the qualifier, and then from the qualifier get into like their main tournament and then qualify for like that gets you into the SPL, and then that gets you into going to the World Championship. Would that help? Would that help in order to do that?
It would and it wouldn't. I mean, so what it will come down to is each individual team. Whilst that would be the nurture side of it and all that sort of stuff. I love the fact we've gone back to esports. I have no idea about esports. All I know is about. I just happen to know about support structure, I suppose. But with the smaller teams, what you're going to get is you're going to get a group of 5 friends who, fair enough, there will be the anomalies, there will be the titans and all that sort of stuff who come from absolutely nothing. They just 5 friends who make a team and get together and they get picked up.
Yeah.
But there is if the smaller teams have to play in all these different stuff, what they're going to think is, what if we get put up against COG? What if we get put up against these people? Is there even worth us trying? Type stuff.
Sure.
Because there's such bigger names like one of the companies I work with. They do LAN tournaments in the UK, and they were building up their LANs bigger and bigger. They started off with like just a couple people. That then became 50, 100. That became 150 LANs where they had like £10,000 up for grabs for prize funds. Problem is, when you start chucking money like that in there, the big names come in. And when the big names come in, the small names go, do you know what? We're not even going to bother turning up because we're not even going to win. So it's a really fine balance.
Oh yeah, and it's very similar to like the Challengers Cup. Some people might be like, "Oh, aren't you talking about the Challengers Cup?" Just with like these opens and stuff like that. And it's very similar, but it's fueled through the community websites, not something that high res would be doing. And I'm talking about like multiple community websites, stuff like that. So just kind of throwing out ideas and stuff like that. Just kind of see where that comes from. So let's kind of reel it back in a little bit. Anything else? Any other questions that you have regarding just kind of what we'd like to see over the next year?
No, I don't think so. I think we pretty much covered everything. Just hopefully we see some change. I don't mean change. I mean just like hopefully we see some good stuff come out from the community and all that jazz in the next year.
Alrighty, sounds good, man. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
Catch you later.
FG3000, why are you a little chatty Cathy in chat? Like, you're not even talking, bro. You're just sitting here, like chatting. You're just chatting. You're like, wait, esports came up. Okay, time to zone out.
That's fine. I did have something to say, but then it was already too late.
Oh, okay.
Womp, womp, womp. I was going to go ahead and say that these tournaments are nowadays, since we're so late into the Smite life cycle. I know you guys were saying that it's not too late. It's not too late. Something can still spark, but a lot of these tournaments are on the back of the casters, right? A lot of people remember when Tier Monks was really, really big. It was because Drybear is casting it.
Yeah.
And everybody came to see Drybear, and when Drybear stopped casting it, the numbers plummeted. So sometimes it's a couple of more factors than just getting people together and making them play and making them have fun. There's a lot of other factors that go into it. Yeah. That's why DM Brandon's tournaments are still huge, because it's DM Brandon. People want to be casted by DM Brandon.
Yeah.
So we're going to need another name in order to make these tournaments happen. But you know what's going to happen? They're going to get big, and then they're just going to be hired by Hire Us. And it will be over.
Possibly. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to bring in Spiff. Spiff, I know who this is. Hello, sir.
The Spiff?
Oh my goodness! Hold on a second. I just have to turn you guys down real quick.
Now, do we have to put a limit on you for like 5 minutes, just in case you're like another caller?
No way. Hold on. I've got multiple things going. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, by the way?
Yep. You sound good. You're good.
All right, here
No,
we
you're not
go.
good. What was that?
I'm here to host. That last guy sucked, by the way. So, do I have to I've got a card here with a bunch of topics we could jump into, or what do you want to do?
It's all
do
yours.
Topic 42 on your card.
Topic 42. All right, Zayden.
Sorry.
Zayden. Okay. I really liked him a lot just because he was very soft spoken. He brought a different attitude to the casting that we haven't seen yet in the Smite team.
I like how you started speaking softly when you started talking about
I
it.
know. Yeah, it's all like, oh.
Well, it's kind of like a dramatic reading almost.
I like it.
Okay. So what does he bring differently that other casters do not?
I don't know. I think it's just the general mannerisms, kind of. His tone of voice is a little bit different. It's something different. Or like the casters are usually very. I don't mean this negatively, but dude, bro.
Okay.
Do you agree with me or no?
Don't be trying to bring me down with you.
Well, no. It's just
I'll totally agree with you. So
Yeah.
when it comes to the casters, and I'm not afraid to say what my favorite casters are, my least favorite casters are, and all that good stuff. I'm not going to get in trouble by anybody. So DM Brandon and Bart are my favorite combo. Like, I think they complement each other. But I think a lot of the times what Spiff was kind of saying, when other casters cast with other casters, they don't actually mesh as well as some of those combos.
Yep.
Right. Another good example was Drybeer and DM. They were a really, really good combo. One of my homeboys, F. That's my boy.
Oh god.
I don't like when F. casts with Scott. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like when
Yeah.
those two cast together. I like him when F. is with Bart. I think he's really good. I think when Scott's with DM, he's really good sometimes. But when F. and Scott cast together, they get kind of like it's a little broy.
Yeah.
Friends,
Yeah.
It's fine. And go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I agree with you definitely on Scott and F. being together, but I think that's more like they sort of fit the same role of like a secondary caster almost. Like I don't really mean that, but with Scott, but I don't know how to explain this. He's kind of like a color commentator, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know if that's accurate, but. Because Smite, the way Smite does it, it's kind of weird, honestly. It's not like traditional sports where you have a very rigid, this guy's a color commentator, this guy's a play-by-play. So this guy casts all the action, and then this guy only talks when all the action is done. They kind of switch in and out, so defining them, it's kind of hard, but I sort of feel like, I don't know. Maybe you can.
No, I can see where you're coming from a little bit. It's just like the way it's structured. Like, is there one person that's your play-by-play, one person that's the analyst, or do we not go that route anymore? And kind of both casters are both analysts to a degree, but both are very strong in play-by-play. Like when I look at someone like Kret, when Kret was doing more casting, he was definitely more the analyst side of things, and then you had somebody like F. who was more play-by-play, and I feel like that meshed together very well. Whereas right now it's kind of a little bit of everything. It's like, oh, you want to take these two casters and have them cast together? Great. They're both a little bit of an analyst, so they add that in as kind of their knowledge bombs and discussions into their casting. But they're both really play-by-play, and they just hand it back and forth, depending on where the direction of the cast is going. So I can see where you're going. I feel like we've kind of moved away from their traditional play-by-play and analyst route, and now we just kind of go with a little bit of whatever's available to us.
Yeah, because they don't want kind of the DM and Bart to cast all the games of the SPL, so they have to kind of rotate people around, give them breaks. And I understand that. So, kind of getting back to your friend and my friend, Zioden or Zio. I feel like I'm saying his name wrong.
I think you got it.
So, probably the thing I like more about Zio when he casts is the fact that not everything is like there's kind of like. And this doesn't mean anything coming from me, because if you watch any of my YouTube videos, I'm yelling at the top of my lungs on almost every play. So I'm one to talk. But when it's casting and an Athena taunts 3 people, but there's no follow-up, you don't need to start yelling as soon as the Athena starts like taunting someone. There's no follow-up. There's nothing happening. And I think Zio does a really, really good job of waiting for action to happen. And even when it does happen, it's not yelling. It's like making your voice really, really intense, but not yelling.
Yeah,
he's very
Henry
grounded.
does that really good too. Yeah. So that's why I like it, and certain people like certain things. If you go into Smite chat during the SPL, there will be so many critiques of every caster.
Oh, I know.
Nonstop. I don't like VM, but I like VM. I hate Bart, but I like Bart. Like, it's just, it's crazy, and it just comes down to preference. And I prefer a more soft-spoken caster. Even though I'm super loud, I like Hindu and I like Zio because they are like, I can just sit back and relax. I have my headphones set at one volume, and I just watch the game, and it's just easy. But if you're a casual player and you don't know when to get hyped for plays, people watching like people like F Dot and people like DM, it's probably better for them because they say, "Oh, there's a good play. I see it because you told me that it's there."
Yeah.
Or I can watch Hindu cast and I'll be like, "I know that's a good play because I play Smite." You know what I mean? So I don't know what we're talking about anymore. We're just kind of giving opinions.
So, Spiff, what's your other comment, question, or statement?
The last thing, just jumping on what FG just said. Yeah, I got my pops to watch the SWC, right?
Okay.
And he said he loved Bart and DM. He didn't know who they were, but he said Bart and DM were his favorites because, like you were saying, he said they made it seem like kind of like a horse race because just how amped up they were getting.
Okay.
And like you said, the casual perspective, he's as casual as possible.
Yeah.
He knew nothing about the game, but he knew when to get excited because they were going nuts, and I personally love them both casting too. So
now, how does I'm just trying to think? It also, with the hype that is built up, because DM and Bart, for example, they can have a normal monotoned voice, when they're talking about things, and then they take off when a team fight's about to break out, or an items pick that's like it's like going to change things in this team fight, and that definitely helps out. The new players or casual players or people that have never watched it before, kind of like a sporting event. Like, you don't really need to know a ton about sporting events, but when all of a sudden the crowd goes crazy, something's going to happen. So I guess my question is, FG, you're a big sports fan. How do you see this relating with just amplifying, getting hyped and excited about things around, with the Smite scene? Do you see it as a big benefit and perk, or where do you see it as just with having a bigger sports background?
To be honest, esports and professional sports casting, they're so different.
Okay.
Like, they are so different. You're not going to watch a basketball game of the Lakers playing and some guy hype casting. It just doesn't really happen in professional sports. Not even in football. Not even when John Madden was doing casting back in the day. You would only get hype when it was like a touchdown. Like, there was it's just so different. So you really can't really relate those two together. Because a lot of the times they're not casting every single thing that happens. You know what I mean? So it's so different. But I have nothing else to say about sports casting.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, anything else you want to talk about, man?
That was number 42. Pick 61.3.
Hold on. I gotta scroll through my list here. Somehow you guys were talking about the community and GrassRoots and all this other stuff.
Yep.
Like, the Smite community is as supportive as you can possibly get. Hi-Rez does so much.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, if you want to do something, just do it, and make like a Reddit post or something, tweet at a bunch of people that are quote unquote big name Smite people, and that's it. I mean, there's no point in waiting around to do something like chaos. What happened?
Nope, we lost me.
What are you talking about? You're still here. I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't know either.
All right, that's okay. Continue.
Sorry, he cut out, and I thought he was gone. I was the one.
You're trying to cut me off there. I see how it is.
Sorry,
but anyway, no, it's fine. That's it. I mean, the community is really supportive. As for the tournament stuff, I don't know. It does feel like Hi-Rez has to fund everything, which is kind of, I don't know. It feels like the tournaments and the community is like a bobsled, right? And Hi-Rez is the guy pushing the bobsled, except they're still running behind it, even though we're halfway down the track.
Yep, that's a good point.
And just everyone is kind of wondering when they're going to let go of the bobsled. You have to let go of the bobsled and get inside.
And I mean, it's a huge...
It hasn't built up.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And that's why, like, some people, like I saw in chat when I was talking about, like, organically or inorganically, like feeding the scene at different times, you know, and did we jump on it too quickly, and were we hoping for a huge esports scene too fast, you know, back in like beta and stuff like that. So like that's what I wasn't sure about. And I know a lot of like people, you know, are kind of biased towards it, and I'm glad to hear like your perspective. I think it's a good analogy there, just to say like, when do we let go? And I don't know that Hi-Rez will ever do that. I don't know that they're looking to do that. I mean, if they have something now that's successful and working, great. But like, do we want that? It's that question. Like, do we want? Is it too late to pull back? You know what I mean? That guy pushing the bobsled. Is it too late to stop, or does he need to keep going like the whole rest of the way? You know what I mean?
I think you guys are both totally wrong.
Okay.
In every way possible. Because
now you better back it. You better back it.
Right now, there's a Smite channel, X5 TV, with 1,085 viewers for
I
for
saw
tournament.
You're
there might not
really
be a lot of people chatting, but
that's the SPL for Brazil.
I know. So there you. Oh, it is. Is it sponsored?
Yeah.
Level up. Level up.
I don't even need to look at it. I just know. And that somebody in chat is saying it is a community-based site, which is kind of cool that they're doing that through a community-based site, and you know what I mean?
Ha! So it's like the tier monster of Brazil.
Pretty much.
You know, I'm still half right.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of people talking in chat though.
So what? So I don't understand.
I don't know about
I don't understand. So you said we were completely wrong. Why don't you tell me? Why are we wrong by this whole?
I'm not wrong, so FG's something's wrong with him.
Cut off Octane's mic, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Control.
Yeah.
Please.
Right. Just calling you out on it. I mean, it's okay to disagree. I just want to know why. Like why are we wrong? Like should Hi-Rez continue to push the bobsled the entire rest of the way, or is there a time to let go?
I was just really making a joke that there was 1,000 people and nobody chatting.
Oh, okay.
In the room. That's really
thanks.
the only joke I was making. That's all.
You're unbelievable. You're unbelievable. All right, cool. Spiff, you got anything else to talk about today?
Well, you know, as tradition, I need to continue talking regardless of if I actually have anything else to say.
Yeah, but see, the other guy had plenty to say though. Like there was never a pause. There was never a pause.
That's true.
Like I feel like FG and myself could have left and came back an hour later, and the show could have been over. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, invite him back on, whoever that was. Get him back on. He's the best. Anyway, thank you guys so much for. Oh wait, can I plug my book first?
Go for it.
You wrote a book?
Yes. Yeah, the life and times of Spiff Sinister, an internet celebrity. It's out next month on the 22nd, wherever books are sold. So
wherever books are sold.
Wherever they're sold.
Awesome, man.
Yeah,
all right.
I don't know where they're sold, but
yeah,
probably bookstores.
Yeah. Oh wow. All right, man.
There's things with bookstores anymore. They're
I know.
dead.
They're dead. It's all Amazon.com. All right, man. You have a good night. Thanks, dude. See ya. OFG. All right.
So many celebrities on today.
I know, man.
Should have got an autograph, but
I know. So, how late you want to go? How late? What are you feeling? I know you're an old man, you know, now with this type of like, you know, 7 to 10 big man time slot. So, you know.
Got that right. Who's are you about to stream for SNK? This is your time slot, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm not really sure. I'm just kind of going to roll with it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So we can end it, buddy.
What's that?
We can end it.
All right.
This is sad.
All right.
Sad. Do you have any music that you can play, like sad music?
Sure. Let me find some sad music for you. Now I'm determined. You know what I mean? I'm determined. Hang on. Let's see here.
How about Boys to Men? It's so hard to say goodbye to
Boys to Men. Oh, my word.
It's pretty old school right there.
Yeah. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. All right. Let's see. Nope, that's not it. Dang. Why you gotta put me on the spot without letting me prepare?
God. What kind of DJ are you?
Not one. Not one? I don't know, maybe.
I noticed.
Alright, we got some nice little like piano music in the background.
Okay.
You know, so sad and slow. So, guys, we're going to go ahead and close out SmiteTalk show for tonight. As myself and FG had kind of talked about previously, we're not going to be trying to push this weekly anymore. In the past, we've done, starting at SNK slot around 10ish, we've done SmiteTalk show. You know, we've decided with FG3000 now occupying the time of the 7 to 10 slot on Smite game, it's very difficult to then go ahead and do a 2-hour show or whatever within there as well. So we've decided to go ahead.
I have no stamina, folks.
Yeah,
I apologize.
He's an old man. Like seriously, like I used to do Smite Update and Smite Talk back to back, but that's why I'm not doing it anymore. So anyways, guys, we're gonna go ahead and close things out. We are going to keep Smite Talk available, but it's going to be at random. So like after a big patch comes out or there's like a big new, big stuff going on, FG and I will do the show. We'll probably do it, a night that FG, I don't know what, once we'll kind of just post it on Twitter or whatever and be like, hey, catch Smite Talk, and we'll do it during FG's slot, maybe 8:30 to 10 or whatever. Does that sound pretty reasonable to you, FG?
Yeah, around there. We'll play with it.
Yeah, it'll be up in the air sometime during the week. Sometime probably Monday through Thursday. Fridays won't work for me, just with having a family and being busy. So it'll be pretty good. If you guys want to keep up with it, and if you guys miss it and you don't get a chance to check it out, it'll still be on iTunes. It'll still be available, the audio only version, and it'll still be on YouTube after each episode. So I'll put the YouTube in chat. It is in the bottom left hand corner. But if you guys want to make sure that you guys do keep up with it, as it might be once a month, it might be twice a month, it may be once every 2 months. We really don't know. It's just kind of going to be a very casual style of the show moving forward with that. Let me put a link in chat to the iTunes version so you guys can check that out if you guys just want to enjoy the audio only version. Let's see here. Here is the audio only version. There was a guy in chat asking about the alpha code. I probably would have given the alpha code if the guy still stuck around to the guy about the Guardian. What do you think? The guy asking about the Guardian questions and discussions and everything like that.
Well, I wasn't involved in it, so I'll agree. Yeah.
but he left. So maybe we'll just go ahead and do that giveaway in chat since he did leave. Should we do that before we head out? You want to do it?
Maybe. Are you gonna stream or not?
I'm not sure yet.
If you stream, you should put that on top of your stream and give it away later.
Okay. I don't know that I'll stream. I have to be up super early tomorrow morning. My son has to have surgery, so yeah, I know, little kids, I know. So I probably won't go ahead and do it. So I'll just do a giveaway in chat for you guys real quick before we head out here. Let's see. The keyword.
What do you have to give away?
I know. We're gonna give away the Xbox Alpha code. Xbox One Alpha
sweet.
code.
I'm about to enter.
So go ahead, guys. Post in chat just Xbox code. That'll put you in the running for the Xbox One code if you guys would like it. This is the alpha code. Go ahead and paste that in chat, and we'll give that away.
Yeah.
We'll give that away to one lucky person in there that is available. And after this giveaway, we'll go ahead and give our social media information, and we will head out here. Wow, this music is so appropriate. I
hope I win.
You can't hear the music though, can you? Because you don't have the stream up. That's okay.
I was on stream.
Yeah, I'm playing it on stream.
Go for a second.
All right, go for it.
Some cute piano music.
I know. There you go, right? So we'll give it about another 30 seconds, guys. If you guys are interested in winning the Xbox One Alpha code, just type Xbox code in chat, and we will give it away to one lucky person. Let me go ahead and bring it up on my own screen so I have it readily available for you guys here. And we should be good. I won't be streaming on Smite Game weekly anymore. I'll just kind of be filling in as need be. So like if FG can't make a night, I'll jump in on it. Or if another streamer can't do it, I'll try to fill in. As you guys know, I do a lot of viewer games, which is a little different than a lot of the streamers. Have you been doing a lot of viewer games at all, or no? Are you pretty much just...
I do viewer games in the queue though.
Okay. I like it. See? I'm so proud.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
You know what? Doing viewer games with viewers, sometimes you get like a level 23 that wants to play.
Yeah.
And you can look really, really good on stream as you like destroy people. It's great.
Well, that was like yeah. Last night I was playing Smite, and it was a 3 versus 3, and it was me and another guy that were both, of course, level 30. But then the other guy, his account, he got deserter on the account because he had to use the bathroom and came back, got deserter. So he's like, "Here, I'll log on to my like level." He's like, "I have another account." I'm like, "Okay." Well, it was like a level 10 account. So we queued up, and it put us against like 3 people that didn't have any that didn't have any of the gods were mastered that they were playing, and it was just kind of like a steamroll, and you kind of like felt bad, like it wasn't enjoyable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a little different.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for 25s. I don't feel bad for them.
Oh,
Like
okay.
25s and 23s and 28s and yeah.
Nice
I don't feel bad
guy.
for them.
Nice guy, aren't you? Jeez.
Level 10s, I'd feel bad. I played a level 10 today and I didn't do anything. I didn't even want to do a single auto attack. I was just fighting. I was just clearing my wave and going back to my tower.
All right, so let's go ahead and do this code giveaway here. Best of luck to everybody in chat. And let's go ahead and roll. And our winner is Double Ninjas. Double Ninjas, congratulations to you, sir. I'll go ahead and send you your code. Let's go ahead and bring that up. You can go.
Isn't one ninja enough? Do you need double?
I know, jeez.
That's like crazy.
That's like Double Dragon. You remember Double Dragon on like
I do
Nintendo?
remember.
Yeah.
Billy and Jimmy or Jimmy and whatever.
Whatever their names were. So congratulations there. And before we go ahead and head out, FG, where can people enjoy your content?
You can find me out on youtube.com/fitnessgamer3000. I have increased the level of my uploads tenfold.
Whoa!
Not really tenfold, but by a lot fold.
Really? Okay.
I now provide. So what I do, this is kind of like the semi-last episode, but not really. So what I do, twice a week, I'll pick 2 gods. Right? Are you with me so far, Octane?
Yeah, except you're off the screen. You're like can't even see you on your webcam.
Sorry. So what I do, Octane, is I'll take a god like Freya and Thanatos.
Okay.
And what I'll do is I'll play Arena Siege Conquest with Freya, and then on Thanatos I'll do Arena Siege Conquest on Thanatos. So you get all these different angles and views of me playing the same god in these different environments. It's great. It makes it easier for me to make videos, and that's why I have videos 7 days a week now. So enjoy youtube.com/fitnessgamer3000. It's great.
That's pretty cool. Now you're doing that outside of your then normal streaming schedule as well, correct?
Yeah, life is hard, dude.
Wow, man, you got a lot. You got a lot of work ahead of you. What do you mean? You can't stream, X amount of hours a day and do all that? Jeez.
No, I can't. I'm tired right now, but I'm sticking in there with you.
Yeah,
I like you.
That a boy. All right, guys. Well, for me, I am kind of doing a little bit of everything now. I'm playing a little bit of everything each week. I'm not just playing Smite. I'm also playing things like H1Z1. Playing a little bit more of CS:GO now. On top of that, I've been playing some Destiny, some Titanfall. What else do I have in there? Evolve. So I'm playing a little bit of everything now. I'm trying to expand my YouTube channel, kind of going the opposite direction. Whereas, FG's getting more into Twitch. I'm trying to push more into YouTube. So I'm uploading. I literally I've had a video a week for the past 30 days, or a video a day for the past 30 days now. Up on YouTube, and I'm continuing that. And it's something different every day. It's something different. I've been adding in Smite on Xbox as well. Like tomorrow night, I'll be doing that on my own stream. So have a little bit of everything, which is really, really nice. So if you guys do want to check it out, I'll put my YouTube in chat. It's just www.youtube.com/OctanePro SCII. Feel free to go over there, subscribe to me, and check out all the videos I've been uploading. The last thing I've been doing on my YouTube channel as well is I've been doing hardware reviews and unboxings. So I have a handful of stuff over there now, and I have more videos coming out. So go check that out if you guys are interested in some hardware. And I think that'll do it for you and I. Appreciate you guys coming out to join us tonight. Keep an eye out on Twitter with myself and FG3000. We will let you know when we're going to have our next Smite Talk. Save up those questions, save up those conversations. For myself and FG3000, thank you guys very much for joining me tonight. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.